Bienvenidos a su canal, bienvenidos a CryptoFranco, un espacio en YouTube donde compartiremos DeFi, proyectos relacionados con finanzas descentralizadas, noticias, pronósticos, monedas y tutoriales que nos permitan crecer en este espacio importante de lo que son los criptoactivos, la tecnología blockchain que hoy en día nos facilita a todos la oportunidad de contar con información y herramientas que pueden convertirse en un portafolio especializado de ingresos para mejorar nuestra calidad de vida y sobre todo para adaptarnos y entender las bondades de esta poderosa tecnología hoy en día más masificada y sobre todo disponible y al alcance de cualquier persona. Bienvenidos entonces a compartir en nuestro canal toda esta información y muchísimo más. Bienvenidos.
We have so much going on in the ecosystem right now. We got Binance Smart Chain. I actually put up another $500,000 for marketing. So we got some really good advisors who are going to put us with some pretty high quality connections. You'll start seeing that in the next week or two. But I'm basically going all out on BSC. It's very important that we raise a nice pool of liquidity. It is nice that the market dipped. I hope some people who are interested in Binance Smart Chain were able to grab some up at kind of a sale price. But yeah, we got that. We have QuickSwap, which is my favorite thing in the ecosystem right now, just because of the Wise Ethereum pair. Now, they didn't increase our rewards this week. They kept it the same. They're still pretty amazing. It's still 50% ROI on the Wise ETH and 150 on Wise Quick. So like if you were providing liquidity for Wise ETH as it is, it's impossible for you to lose value versus Ethereum. I think people don't get that yet. But just because of the nature of providing liquidity and because of the transaction fees, the fact that Wise can only be sold down to a certain point, and it's being sold down very slowly as a worst case scenario, the transaction fees when you're providing liquidity actually cover that entirely. So I've been providing liquidity for QuickSwap and WiseETH ever since it started. Was that three weeks now? I have gained several $100s in total. I have a little bit more Wise, a little bit less ETH, but the value has actually grown by several $100s. So I think people are missing the fact that Wise is a premier token for providing liquidity. And so I'm also very excited about ViperSwap. It's still in its early stages, and it kind of turned me off at first a little bit just because the high ROI. Usually things with high ROI are really unsustainable, and I kind of bad taste in my mouth. But looking closely at how they're doing things and how they're locking it up, and also how you mentioned that when they start becoming unlocked, that's when the APY increases. So there's some interesting tokenomics there. I'm becoming more and more interested in ViperSwap and the Harmony Network. I hope they do add a Wise ETH pair. I will definitely be putting in heavily to that if they do. And these are the things that are happening right now. What I'm most excited about is our lending contract. Our lending contract is a game changer. It's going to allow you to borrow so you'll be able to borrow or lend cryptocurrencies to the contract, not just Ethereum, not just Wise, but a whole panel of cryptocurrencies that are traded on that DEX. This is like the industry standard for like what you see in Aave and Compounds. And we also have some additional interesting innovations on top of that, such as the leverage lending. So imagine having 10 ETH, but being able to leverage lend that to the contract so that you're actually lending 30 ETH and earning an APY off of that 30 ETH position. That's pretty interesting to me. And the cool thing about what we're doing is by launching on all these other blockchains like Binance Smart Chain, it gives us a lot of working capital. So as soon as we have our lending contracts, I can put, depending on how much we raise, 10 million, $50 million on the lending side of that contract, and people can immediately borrow that and get it to work. One of the hardest things to do if you are going into the business of lending and borrowing is to get that initial seed money. And since we are already a successful project and have this massive liquidity, we already have that at our disposal. So I think we're going to take the markets by storm at the end of this year, and I'm very, very excited for this roadmap. I'm currently looking to about double our team size of developers. I want to hire about 2 or 3 more developers.
That's really exciting. What's also really exciting, I actually met Peter. I met Jeremy through ViberSwap, and because he saw how it was one of the fastest growing APRs pools on there, he took an extensive look into Wise, and he caught our stream where you're talking about creating WiseSwap on the Casper network, and he's really very bullish now, obviously on Wiper and Wise too. And it's interesting how this will play out when more and more people will see, when they notice Wise on QuickSwap, or when they understand what you said about the Wise ETH pool. I think it's going to be when this really registers and light bulbs goes off with people. I'm very, very bullish on Wise more than ever too, especially when you have this more and more working capital, to incentivize people however you choose.
Yeah, a lot of people who haven't been paying that close attention from the start haven't realized that my vision for Wise was always in a decentralized ecosystem of products, like a full suite of products. We want to unbank people and have people doing all their all the stuff they do with money on decentralized finance rather than in banks. So obviously we need those lending products. Once we have those lending products, that's a whole new use case for Wise that isn't there before. And this is just one of the things we're building. This is just the first thing I'm building. I've already got 2 other products that I want to start building after lending is done. One of them is going to be huge, like a game changer, another innovative product that isn't in DeFi anymore. But once we start having lending and borrowing, what this is going to do is it's going to attract people to lend and borrow, just like Aave, Compound, that type of thing. They don't even necessarily have to be interested in the Wise token. However, they will be generating system profits by lending and borrowing, either by just the percentage of interest they're paying for lending, or the difference, the little sliver that the contract's going to take when they're borrowing, or through liquidations if people are applying leverage. So that's going to give profits, which only grow the more people that use it. And every one of these systems needs a reserve pool, because at some point in time, there's going to be a demand on something, whether it's USDC or whatever people are using to leverage trade. So our reserve pool for this contract is going to be held in Wise. And it's not just a reserve pool, but it's a profits pool too. So that the profit share goes to the people that are lending their Wise to this reserve pool. And so the bigger it gets, the more total value locked we have, the more users we have as this grows. And this should just grow on a linear curve, just like Aave or Compound. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you. This increases the profits the system is making. And one thing that we're doing that our competitors aren't is that we are piping those profits back into the system. So if you are holding Wise, you can get a percentage of those profits by lending your Wise to this reserve pool. So as the amount of people using the lending and borrowing grows, that increases the profits, which increase the amount of money that's going to the pool, which will increase the demand for people to lend Wise to the pool. and get some of those profits too. And so this is something that puts a demand on Wise that is not there currently. So I'm really excited for that. It won't take much to reverse the momentum of Wise, because remember, as soon as we listed, just going up a little bit, it compounds gains, because when Ethereum is going up and people are buying Wise on Uniswap, it's like double dipping in the ROI. Like it can go up faster than any other token, because you've got two factors at play, not just the buying and selling. It's actually the price of Ether too. So as soon as that starts happening, we've got the incentives pool too that should be starting in either May or June. I'm very excited to see where this project is going to be at the end of this year. So yeah, we're working really hard, and my favorite thing that we're going to be working on this year is that lending project. That's going to be a game changer. Ecosystem expansion is awesome. Making more money for the system is awesome. The daily incentives pool is going to be pretty sweet too. That might single-handedly cause our price to go up just because of that every single day. But what I'm really focusing on is that lending contract. In addition to just creating a new use case, we can deploy this on every blockchain. So we can deploy this on the Matic network and ViperSwap and the Harmony network, and have these systems there too. And we could use the Wise our Ethereum Wise that we bridged over to be the token to lend to the reserve pool, to just add more use cases to this as well. So my full-time job now is building use cases for Wise, and I'm going to keep on doing that until Wise is the best investment in all of crypto.
Wow, that sounds freaking awesome. Really appreciate you doing that, Peter. We know you're working hard. While we have Jeremy and Jacob Garcia online, Jacob, I know I haven't gotten a chance to talk to you yet. I know you've been on a lot of Lucas's streams with Wise Beyond Bitcoin. What's up, man? How are you doing? And do you have any questions for Peter? Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I'm doing good. As far as questions for Peter, really, I feel like what Peter had just said just kind of nailed it right there. He just wants to build on Wise in a way, and that just improves the whole ecosystem until it's just the best in crypto. And then just really, that's all I was going to ask, is what his vision was for. Because I notice whenever I bring up Wise to friends and family, a lot of people don't understand what the use case for Wise is. So I have to kind of like back up 2 steps and explain to them, well, Wise could be used for lending. If you're a liquidity provider, I have to teach them what liquidity providing is first. But once you got that down, you explain to them that in the Wise ETH pair, there's basically no impermanent loss after the whole 80% APY that was going on, which was kind of insane. That blew my mind, seeing that like Wise could solve the problem of impermanent loss. That changed my outlook on Wise completely.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear. Yeah, and do you know the impermanent loss, it's solved before you take rewards into account. So my pool, my ETH-WISE liquidity providing is receiving no impermanent loss and extra rewards before quick tokens are taken into account. So it's just beating impermanent loss just on fees alone, just from trading in the pool. So all the quick tokens, that's just gravy on top. If Quick was providing no rewards, I'd still keep my ETH-WISE there, because that's better than just having Wise if Wise is going down slightly. So it's a way to protect myself from any losses whatsoever. So I think like that's what's interesting to me. Minus the quick rewards, there's still no impermanent loss.
I feel like when people really understand that, when that clicks in their head, they're just, the way they look at Wise is going to change, because Wise has always been, since I got back into crypto, Wise has been my biggest hold. But now Wise is going to be 80% of my portfolio from now on.
It already is mine. Yeah, it's already 80% of mine.
I think
Yeah.
right now it's like 65. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
I can't wait, man. Like I am just gonna keep building and building and building. And so as far as the cool thing about a competition is there's so much money, there's so much demand and so much money pouring into the space. It's not really competition. It's just a matter of being able to offer the services. So the cool thing about these lending protocols is it's based off supply and demand. So at any given day, we might have some pairs that are not as good as like Compound or Aave, and some that are, depending on supply and demand. But always one side is going to be better. So if the borrowing side is not good, well, that means that the lending side is really good, and it'll continue to be really good until more people lend, and then the borrowing side will become better. And if you look at the growth trajectory of how these companies grew, it's that's exactly how it grows. It's like, oh, it's a really good deal on borrowing, so people borrow some more, which increases the demand for lending, and people lend a little bit more, and it just kind of goes up like that. We're going to be able to start with tens of millions of dollars on the lending side, so that's like a huge booster shot for us. We can go from zero to $1 billion total value locked in a very short amount of time. So I'm really excited to get into this space, and like you said about use cases. Right now, the best use case for Wise is to provide liquidity. That's just the highest ROI and safest thing to do. The use case is a store of value. But the store of value is working better when you have all these other use cases that are causing people to buy and actually driving it up, because store of value needs two things. It needs good tokenomics, which we have, but it also needs people to believe it and buy into it as well. If nobody believed that Bitcoin was a good store of value, then it wouldn't be a good store of value, no matter how good the tokenomics are. It's hard to create a new token after all the ones that have already been created and have people believe it. And so that's where all these other use cases come in. Bitcoin got lucky because it's the first. It doesn't have any intrinsic value, but because it's the first, and because so many people use it already, you've got people believe it just because there's already millions of people in it, and already $1 trillion of people buy into it. So people believe it because of herd mentality, even though there's no real intrinsic value like there is for like Ethereum, for instance. So like once people see the real intrinsic value of what Wise is, the tokenomic side of it will be able to shine, as you saw in the first 10 days after listing, because when people are buying Wise, it goes up exponentially, and even when it's going down, it doesn't flash crash. It can't. It just goes. It goes down slowly, even if people are selling millions of dollars a day, just because of all that Ethereum that is there backing up the price on Uniswap. So I couldn't be happier with how this all worked out, and the fact that we've got like $250 million on Uniswap right now. I'm pretty tickled pink. I just can't wait until we got this lending thing, because I feel like I feel like the people that sell are selling because they either don't know or they don't think that we're going to complete the final stage of the picture, which is offering that full suite of financial products. So I can't wait till that's done. So then it's just going to be so obvious that that Wise is going to be, a big thing in the crypto space.
Yeah, Peter, I think people just aren't aware of it, or they're just trying to, it's probably shiny object syndrome. They're just trying to chase something right now. Probably is what's going on, in my opinion.
It is super nice though to have like all my liquid money is in the is providing liquidity right now. So it is really nice to sit back and be like, it doesn't matter how many people sell. my value can't go down on the Wise ETH pair. So yeah, it would be a lot nicer if people were buying and making it go up exponentially, but it's really nice to know that there's nothing anybody can do to make the value of my liquidity pair go down. Like there's no better feeling than that. It's like bulletproof investing.
That's freaking awesome. Jacob, did you have any other comments before I toss it over to Jeremy? And then we'll get to Braxton in the mix.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that, like, I feel like a lot of things that people miss out on with Wise is just the fact that Wise is the underlying asset that's backing Wise is the thing you're earning. So even if you're not bullish on Ethereum, Wise is going to be popping off on multiple different chains. Now, for me, I actually plan on getting a nice pool of Polkadot Wise because I love what's going on in Polkadot. But Wise allows me to do that in a scalable, multiplicative way where I'm earning more Polkadot with Wise and their financial suites than I would be, say, selling altcoins and hoping for them to pump and taking part in some of these other alt ecosystems where I'm just doing adding and subtracting. Whereas with Wise, I'm multiplying my gains.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I created Wise to be. It was created to be a safe asset, one that has a limited downside while still maintaining the infinite upside potential, and one that is tied to, like you said, the intrinsically valuable asset of that particular blockchain, whether it's Ethereum on Ethereum or BNB on Binance Smart Chain or Polkadot on Polkadot. Whatever blockchain that you're bullish on, you'll be able to invest in Wise on that blockchain and be backed by that intrinsically valuable asset. So that's unlike
That's pretty sweet.
anybody offers. So yeah, I'm actually surprised not very many people try to copy us yet. Maybe after our lending contract comes out, people will start to see the value of what we created, and it'll be pretty hard to catch up because $200 million liquidity pools are kind of hard to compete with.
They want to put that money in their pocket, Peter. You know that. So not too many people are not going to want to put that money in their pocket.
Yeah.